Came here 2.5 years ago to get married to CHELYNN, and what I do, I play music and various other things.
My name is CHELYNN. I'm an artist, photographer and sculptor, and recently in the process of becoming a massage therapist. And I'm also a fairly avid runner.
I thought it was a really, really ugly place. JP, extremely, and I remember thinking to myself, Jesus, I could never, ever live in a place like this. I think it was just, there was something about particularly in where you were staying down in South Street, there's a bunch of stores that were kind of like run down looking, and just the feel of it, this kind of, oh, how would I describe it, like a kind of no man's land. You know, it wasn't quite the centre of town. It didn't seem to have any real resonance, any real vibe about it. But since I lived here, it grew on me quite a bit.
I thought I felt sort of I was on the pulse of of like the art scene.
Certainly friends back home in Scotland that don't understand why I'm even here. They think it's a preposterous idea. You know, why would you want to go and live in that country at this particular time? I was driving to work and I was listening to the radio, and I think it was the first plane had hit the tower, and I was listening to the radio, and it was kind of shocking. I just drew up at work, was parking the car, and then the second plane hit just then. I thought, oh my God, and I went into work kind of stunned, and everybody was on computers at work, because there was a girl from New York. She was an artist. She was on some kind of placement with us at work in Scotland, and she was bawling her eyes out in this absolute state of total panic, emailing friends back home and trying to make calls, and she couldn't get through to anybody. She was absolutely frantic, and it just made it kind of summed up the atmosphere. We were all feeling it directly through her, I think, because all her family and all her friends are in New York, so it's kind of a direct thing, considering we were so far away. Plus I was obviously thinking about CHELYNN, even though it was New York and not Boston.
I was pretty upset, wasn't it?
You were very, very upset. You were hearing planes flying over.
Yes, that was the thing that was freaking me out. I think I fully released with grief when I actually did see it on TV. So it was the visual impact of seeing, you know, the towers fall. Actually, the moment they fell is when it hit me at how many people had died at that moment. I love Michael for his kind of free and spontaneous nature, kind of instinctual, intuitive nature, and kind of like how his daily living can reflect mine, and it does reflect, affect mine, and help me to bring that part of myself out.
and
But you don't have to say me, just go say
No, I love CHELYNN because when we met, it was definitely meant to happen. The fact that I won this bizarre painting prize to paint in Vermont for a month in the north of Vermont. Scottish person in the north of Vermont, and we met within the first 15 minutes, and that was it. And I think we are so different, and I admire the qualities in CHELYNN of her focus and her clarity of vision, things that I feel have really helped me, and we continually challenge each other, and it can be pretty tough sometimes, but it's all for the good. It's like we're brought together as a incredible combination, but there's there's tension in that combination, and we sometimes are completely do things in completely opposite ways, and that's actually infuriating sometimes, but also incredible learning. An incredible learning process. We're both learning, and that feels to me like
learn to let go of things that aren't really that important.
Who do you do?
No, you do! I absolutely do believe in something larger than myself, but I believe, without trying to sound hokey, that we're all an aspect of that, and there's many layers to the connection between people and things and places and time and dimensions and...
I think for me it came through an illness, because I was sick for a long time, and about 10 years, and I think there's a sense of being close to death at times, and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with me, and I was tested for just about everything you can possibly imagine, and through that whole process I had a lot of quite what were alarming experiences, out of body experiences, feeling that I was just about to die, extreme panic attacks, a lot of visions, and felt almost sometimes like I was combating something, almost like a dark spirit nature. Sometimes it was quite an alarming thing. So there were a few very, very key moments there, and there was a turning point where I had this incredible vision, and where I was basically felt as though I had died, and I was told by these incredible beings that it wasn't my time. And it sounds very cheesy, but it was very, very powerful and very real, and they sent me back. And from that point it was a long period of recovery and communication with spirits of many kinds, particularly connected to an ancient yew tree, 2,000-year-old tree, which was right next to my house in Scotland, which is actually in a book, so it was well documented. And the branches grow from about 12 feet up, they grow down back into the ground and form new trees, so that it forms a perfect basket with a tunnel that's been looked after for hundreds of thousands, well, probably 1,500 years. The tree's about 2,000 years old, and it's been continually supported, so eventually this tunnel of branches spread about 25-30 feet, so it's like going into an igloo. And there I had some pretty incredible experiences of direct connection with spirit, and it's kind of changed my life. And over a period of 10 years, I spent 10 years really at that tree.
I don't know if this is one word. I'm going to say it, and then if it's not one word, then you can tell me. Overabundant? That's kind of two. Overabundant.
Confused. It's the only word that comes into my mind. I was going to say schizophrenic, but that's too extreme.